we show them an activity and we invite them to join in. But skepticism is one challenge. And then money. Money, the same as everybody. Resources. We're fortunate we got research funding to develop this and do all the foundational work. And we've been supported in different ways for a number of years. We have to be more creative as time goes by to get funding. But, and then resource in human terms. And I think this applies, again, to lots of things with dementia. About 7 or 8 years ago, I worked with some services in the UK, care homes, to try some of the computers, and the staff were ecstatic. They loved it. They loved the time they got to spend with people. They felt really good at their jobs. They really, they benefited, and the residents did. The families loved it. They wanted to come. But the provider just went, oh, we don't have time for staff to be sitting around. So the obstacle was that now, 8 years later, I think the situation has changed, certainly in the UK and other European countries, and they're looking now for things that they can get the staff more enthusiastic and engaged and provide the quality of life things. But there's been a focus on other things, and the people having quality time and quality of life has been low on the agenda. So I would still say the work that we're doing, and I'm very fortunate to do it in more than one country, is in the minority. But when I talk with families, and I give lots of presentations in small, Alzheimer's groups and family settings and things, their concerns are everyday life. What do I do with my mom or my husband or whatever? How do we pass the time? How do I, engage? How do we find things to live our lives? And I would say that's probably been the biggest obstacle, is that there's not much emphasis, but that is most people's reality, is getting through every day and knowing how to live well. So that's a big challenge. Hi, Mark, I know you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, thank you for your presentation. I think this is a really important topic for today, and for sharing your very good ideas. I just want to reflect on the thing that Kiki said. The most shy country in the world used to be Japan. So at the ADI conferences in 2001, 2, and 3, people with dementia were speaking. And then they said in 2004, oh no, it's not possible for us. But in the end, they did have 2 people speaking, and it changed the whole perception of dementia in Japan dramatically, in a positive way. Now, of course, the issue is that you need to find people who are able to do that, and often people who are diagnosed relatively young. And that's probably not yet happening here. But it can really be helpful if you keep trying. Second thing is, I just got a message 1 minute ago from our friends from Alzheimer Italia that the Pope has made an announcement today, a press release, in favor of World Alzheimer's Day, mentioning the theme Remember Me, and asking everybody to pray for people with dementia and their caregivers. So I thought that's wonderful news to share.
Thank you. Oh, well, that's awesome. Thank you. And absolutely, I would echo, probably the best decision I've ever made in my research career is to video the work. So we did it as a purely practical means. We had a team of 6, and we couldn't have 6 people standing over people's shoulders. So we did it for our team to learn how people interacted with computers. But I have 15 years worth of videos, not all in different countries, in different settings, of people with dementia trying out all sorts of activities, being engaged, participating, and it's the most powerful thing, because their voices are a million times more powerful than, just seeing that lady laughing when she's painted her pot and she's so proud. Just those moments are more powerful, I think, than anything I can say. So I definitely think if you can have something that shows the way people can be engaged, then it's incredibly powerful.
Once again, I thank you for this, because that is very important to us here. Now, we get, I don't know, it's not peculiar to Nigeria. We get somebody labeled with dementia, and all of a sudden they're no longer relevant to society. And this is the mistake we make. And we make excuses that it's them that cannot do it. Yeah. So it's good to hear from you that just like everybody else, we all enjoy a bit of challenge. Gets the old grey matter going, don't you think? And there's no cannot. We are the ones who are failing them because we haven't actually presented them with anything to motivate, to get the curiosity flowing. So we have to rethink how we're thinking.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a comment. I think that your initiatives and things are absolutely amazing. On the ground, as you've already stated, it's not always so easy to put things into practice. And I think certainly in Zimbabwe, diagnosis numbers are very few, and often by the time families come to us as an organisation, their family member is probably fairly far advanced in his dementia. But what we have found most successful, well, one of our success stories perhaps is the art therapy. We started off with a lot of people doing their own art, and it actually didn't matter if they had ever been a painter before. In fact, those that hadn't been were probably better than those that had been artists in before a diagnosis. But it was like being in a community, and it was socializing with other people. And it also got the carers involved on an intimate basis, and got them to relax with their family member. So from that point of view, I think it has been extremely, and something that I think in Africa that could be adapted by a lot of people, because it doesn't need to be an expensive exercise. Yeah. And also the music. The music has also been very, very successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've just highlighted some of the key ingredients. It's doing something together, and it's spending time and just having a natural interaction. Having an activity can be important, so having something to stimulate the conversation, whether it is painting or we've done a lot of work with photographs, done a whole other set of things around storytelling, which I think is relevant in every culture, and is maintained when people have dementia. And your point as well about people being quite often quite advanced in their journey when they get a diagnosis. Again, that's very common in many places, especially for older people, because it's not so noticeable, because people just think they put it down to old age. But again, there are resources that it's about enabling people to know how best to live, and how to, even simple things like family members not knowing how best to respond to things that a person says, and they end up getting very caught up in these quite stressful situations. And it's really having tools at their disposal. Apps and smart devices are one thing that will be useful to some people, but having other tools and real life experiences, and being able to maintain communication and do fun things together really is got to be all the way through. So, I think this is just one example that I just wanted to sort of get you to think there's other things. And your examples are fantastic, and I would encourage people to come and ask you how you run those groups. Thank you ever so much.
Okay, I know that there's quite a lot of information to take in, and a lot of questions that you might be formulating in your minds. Please just let them out, so that if you're not asking, like what Mark says, if you don't ask, you don't get. So they're offering to you now. I think we should follow up on that. Thank you very much, Arlene. I was really people with dementia and how they're feeling and how they factor into this. Now, are you as tired as I am with all this information? Do you need a break? Because it's almost lunchtime, really. I just thought we'll have one more person, but would we be doing that person justice if you are too tired to listen? Raise up your hands who wants break. Okay. Can we have, should we just make it lunch? I haven't asked them. They told me 2:30, 2 o'clock, 2-ish is when they'll be serving lunch. So I haven't asked the kitchen because they told me 2 o'clock-ish is when they will start serving. So if we take a break now, that will eat into how quickly we eat. All right? So we break, it's lunch break, and we're back here at 2:30. Thank you.